You want to talk about a Hollywood wokester who can't get out of their own way. I have an article for you here at Variety, and this is written by the director of this new series, Cleopatra. I believe it's on Netflix. And they admit, this is such a scream, they admit in this article the history of Cleopatra. That her family is of Greek origin, Macedonian Greek. But she can't get out of her own way. Now, the article starts out talking about how she went to a fortune teller, and the fortune teller told this director that she has a connection to Cleopatra. So I'll just read the meat of what it says here. I remember as a kid seeing Elizabeth Taylor play Cleopatra. I was captivated, but even then, I felt the image was not right. Was her skin really that white? With this new production, I could find the answers about Cleopatra's heritage and release her from the stronghold that Hollywood has placed on her image. Well, I don't think in 1962, when this film Cleopatra came out with Elizabeth Taylor, people were worried about skin color. They went to see Cleopatra because Elizabeth Taylor was in it. She was a big star at the time. And the actor or actress makes the character. Born in Iran, I am Persian, and Cleopatra's heritage has been attributed at one time or another to the Greeks, the Macedonians, and the Persians. The known facts are that her Macedonian Greek family, so you admit that she's Greek or of Greek heritage here, the Ptolemaic lineage intermarried with West Asian Seleucid dynasty. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's Seleucid, and have been in Egypt for 300 years. Well, the Macedonians, they intermarried. They tried their best not to marry outside of the family, to keep the bloodline, keep it intact. Cleopatra was 8 generations away from these Ptolemaic ancestors, making the chance of her being white somehow unlikely. After 300 years, surely we can safely say Cleopatra was Egyptian. Again, she was of Greek heritage. She was no more Greek or Macedonian than Rita Wilson or Jennifer Aniston. Both are one generation away from Greece. During the research, I realized what a political act, this is a political act now, it would be to see Cleopatra portrayed by a black actress. Everything's got to be black now. When did this start, that everything has to be black? How about just playing the part because it's a really cool role to play? For me, the idea that people had gotten it so incredibly wrong before historically, as though this director here is the expert on history. From Theda Bara to Monica Bellucci, and recently with Angelina Jolie and Gal Gadot in the running to play her. Is it Gadot or Gadot? G-A-D-O is the last name. Meant that we had to get it even more right. The hunt was on to find the right performer to bring Cleopatra into the 21st century. Because of all that white supremacy, we have to bring Cleopatra and all these Greek and Roman legends into the 21st century and make them black, make them woke. Why shouldn't Cleopatra be a melanated sister? And why do some people need Cleopatra to be white? Her proximity to whiteness seems to give her value, and for some Egyptians it seems to really matter. Now listen to her reasoning here. After much hand-wringing and countless auditions, we found in Adele James, an actor who could convey not only Cleopatra's beauty, but also her strength. What the historians can confirm is that it is more likely that Cleopatra looked like Adele than Elizabeth Taylor ever did. Well, maybe Elizabeth Taylor was the best person for the role at the time, because she was a big Hollywood star. As production got nearer, I realized the magnitude and political nature of this job. It was important to get things right, but also to find a way of telling the story with humanism and nuance. Humanism and nuance. The last thing we needed was another Cleopatra divorced from her womanhood and her power only sexualized. Have you actually seen the movie Cleopatra? That's a very strong character for any actress to play. The HBO series Rome portrayed one of the most intelligent, sophisticated, and powerful women in the world as sleazy. So you admit here that she was sophisticated, she was intelligent, she was powerful. Now, it's believed that she was kind of homely looking, but Mark Antony had the hots for her. For some reason, he had the hots for Cleopatra. But she was sleazy. She was a drug addict. Yet Egypt didn't seem to mind. Where was he outraged then? But portraying her as black? Well, you don't want to portray her as black, but you want to portray her as sleazy, as a drug addict. Perhaps it's not just that. I've directed a series that portrays Cleopatra as black, but I have asked Egyptians to see themselves as Africans, and they are furious at me for that. I am okay with this. Maybe the reason they don't see themselves as Africans is because they're Egyptian. This woke film director can't get out of her own way. While shooting, I became the target of a huge online hate campaign. Egyptians accused me of blackwashing and stealing their history. Well, you are if you're going to try to change this and make this into some type of black character when reality, the history shows that this person was of Greek heritage. Now, it's not known who Cleopatra's mother was, so there's a question there that she could have been of mixed race. But if the Macedonian Greeks didn't marry outside the family, chances are it was probably somebody inside the family with slightly darker skin. Some threatened to ruin my career. Getting back to the article here, talking about these Egyptians who are claiming that this director's blackwashing, stealing their history, which I wanted to tell them was laughable. I was ruining it very well for myself, thank you very much. No amount of reasoning or reminders that Arab invasions had not yet happened in Cleopatra's age seemed to stem the tide of ridiculous comments. Amir in his bedroom in Cairo wrote to me to earnestly appeal that Cleopatra was Greek. This has been confirmed. She was of Greek lineage. Macedonian Greek. Oh, Lord, why would that be a good thing to you, Amir? You're Egyptian. So was Cleopatra black? We don't know for sure, so you can't confirm that she's black, but you're going to make her black to fulfill a woke template here. That's what I can come up with. You want to fulfill a woke template, check mark the box here, to make all your Hollywood buddies happy. That's what you're doing here. But we can be sure that she wasn't white like Elizabeth Taylor. We need to have a conversation with ourselves about our colorism and the internalized, we need to have a conversation about our colorism. Okay. And the internalized white supremacy that Hollywood has indoctrinated with us. Most of all, we need to realize that Cleopatra's story is less about her than it is about who we are. No, Cleopatra's story is about Cleopatra, who committed suicide by poisoning herself with a rattlesnake, with an asp, as they call it. Pardon me, a cobra. It's a cobra. At the time, it was called an asp. It's almost as if we don't realize that, here's a word for you, misogynoir, misogynoir, like film noir, still has an effect on us today. We need to liberate our imaginations and boldly create a world in which we can explore our historical figures without fearing the complexity that comes with their depiction. I am proud to stand with Queen Cleopatra and reimagine Cleopatra. And with the team that has made this, we reimagine a world over 2,000 years ago where once there was an exceptional woman who ruled. I would like to draw a direct line from her to women in Egypt who rose up in the Arab uprisings, pardon me, and to my Persian sisters who are today rebelling against a brutal regime. Never before has it been more important to have women leaders, white or black. So at the end of the article, you say we need women leaders. That's what this is really all about. We need women leaders, but somehow you want to make Cleopatra black when she is, by all accounts, of Macedonian Greek heritage. So So I thought I'd share this article with you at Variety. Example of one of these Hollywood wokesters who can't get out of their own way. Another one-take video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. You can follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can find me at Twitter, Cultural Confederacy at Twitter. It's actually Cultural Confederacy at Cultural Confed1 on Twitter. But either way, you'll find me. So this is the Cultural Confederacy saying peace out, stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. And you know how we do it here. This is where the past crashes with the present. Catch you next time.